He's Jamie Hunt,
He's Pat Heath.
and we're here to introduce you to
Engl presents
2021 Custom Shop.
So, Pat, which model have you got?
I have a Savage 120 in white.
Very nice. Custom finish.
Yes.
I've got a Savage 60 Mark II in custom purple. So the wattage is different, finishes are different, features are actually the same.
Yeah, and I think the thing is with these amps, it's all about versatility.
There's a lot going on.
A lot.
Tons of channels and tons of little buttons to find and work out on these amps as well. So loads of little things lurking away. So I deliberately went for a high output, high gain set of pickups. I've got EMG active pickups, humbuckers going into this head. And the first thing I wanted to check out is high gain amps generally do gain really well, but they can often struggle to do cleans really well. So often I need to roll the gain right back on the clean channel, which means the volume's lower. I have to roll the volume down on the guitar to try and clean everything up to make that work. Not the case with the Savage, I'm pleased to report. So I've gone in, I've got the gain at 12 o'clock, just right in the middle. EQ's pretty much in the middle, other than this bold thing, which I'm going to use something else in a minute. So let's hear the neutral sound of the amp with nothing engaged and see if we can get that really nice clean. Absolutely.
Cool.
In response to the pickups, you get a spark in the middle, you get that twang in the bridge if you want it. So yeah, very responsive, totally clean. If you want to drive the gain up higher and kick in the high gain, low gain settings and get a kind of a bluesy breakup. does that too.
Cool, yeah.
It's very cool. You get that twang, don't you?
It's got the single coil twang.
But still very musical, so it cuts through, it's got that bite, it's got that kind of Stevie Ray-esque vibe to it with a little bit more gain if you need it.
Exactly, yeah. And if you want that kind of funk vibe,
yeah, really responsive to the pickup choice and the volume control. Brilliant. Now if I go high gain, one thing you've got to notice, look at this noise gate control. Clean channel at the minute, so there's no noise gating going on. If I go to a crunch channel, in comes the noise gate if you've got that dialed in. Now that means if I bring my volume up, it's still silent, which is great. The chords are there when I need them, the tone, but I haven't got to worry about this hissing kind of coming through loud and clear in all the spaces. So brilliant. Won't clip your clean sounds, but totally gets involved when the gain comes up. So that's happening. Now I've got the Crunch 2 channel going on, so I'm on the bottle control. Tons of things to think about here. So first of all, like here's the sound. Really tight sounding, right?
It's tight sounding.
Now we've got this deep boost over here. Now I really like this feature because it totally does that.
Weight.
Bottom notes sounding huge, but still tight and articulate. Now I think that's really useful if you're in a single guitar band and you need to have that weight and crunch like it's a double track riff or something like that. Instant kick that in, you're going to sound bigger and chunkier in the mix, which is great. Similarly, if you've got a second guitar player in the band that's got loads of low end going on in their tone, you can kick that out again. You're going to sound a little bit separate, find your place in the mix.
Cool. Yeah, I'm on Crunch Channel 2 and I found this cool button called Rough Smooth. When I put it on, I've got a 112 combo.
Totally changes the mid-range, doesn't it?
Totally changes the mid-range, yeah. It almost like swaps it over. It's very cool. And lead channel. It almost pushes the top end up that you get from the single coils as well. But if you want a kind of smoother sort of lead sound from a single coil, if you want the harshness, back in again. It's all there.
So it makes each channel kind of respond like two, doesn't it? You've got two very different channels in one now.
There.
So if you thought 4 channels wasn't enough, now you've got the equivalent of 8 just with that going on. And I found a similar thing where if I'm on the Crunch 2 again, playing some rhythm, but I want to go lead, so I might kick in that boost, just give the bottom end again. But if I want to get, not go lead sound, but maybe do like some fills with that, so I don't go full lead steering gain channel at the minute. If I bring that rough smooth in, it becomes like my lead channel. Now I can kick that out again too. Be back to a rhythm type tone. If I'm on the clean channel and I want to get that slightly driven bluesy sound, that's easily achievable as well. I can just up the input, add the bright, put the gain, higher gain setting in there, and I'm going to just roll the gain up a little bit. And then leave it on the neck pickup, and we end up getting a sound like this.
Starting to break.
Yeah, that little bit of bluesy grit.
Yeah. Yeah, clean sound. I mean, it's built for single coils. Awesome.
Very cool.
Fireball 100 in red.
Custom red, custom shop.
Yeah.
Excellent. 100 watt head. Some Engl amps have rows and rows of controls with loads going on, loads of little buttons and things to find. This is as versatile, I would say, but with a much easier front on it in terms of controls and parameters. So because of that, I think you tend to think about what each parameter actually does to the sound a little bit more. So to give you an idea of how versatile this amp is, I'm going to start with my clean sound and go for a really ultra warm sound. EQ's in the middle. This is with the bottom control kicked in, the lower end, and we get this big, rich, chiming clean sound. Really responsive to pick attack as well, because I pick over the neck, like all the low ends by the bridge. Great sound. Now I'm going to change one thing. EQ's the same, pickup choices are the same. I'm just going to switch from the bottom control to take that out and put the bright control in, and now I've got my cut-in funk kind of tone. Other end of the scale, one button.
Okay, so yeah, the lead channel. When we want to kick the distortion in.
Great.
Yeah, classic warm sort of humbuckery tone, and also obviously overdriven if you want that overdriven.
Yeah.
It's all there. If you want to bring the gain up a little bit, like you did before when you were testing this out, Jamie.
Ooh,
It's like 11 o'clock. It's got that tightness that the other Engl amps have got. The Savage had that tight sort of bottom end sound. Take it up a bit further.
Absolutely.
Just past. We're getting into the real sort of American high gain sounds, aren't we, really?
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's very, very cool. Right, let's wind it all the way up. See what it gives us. Tone's still there, isn't it? There's lots and lots of distortion.
It's what I love about this amp is it tends to, you immediately hear the nuances and the vibes and the genres that it does really well. It's like, okay, that's classic rock, that's blues, that kind of shred, that's neoclassical, you know. All those genres just go, that's the sound. Let's hear that we had there. Thinking neoclassical now. If I give that a mid boost, let's just see if that fits with that kind of vibe. Totally. There you go.
There you go. So if you want to kick your solo up with a little bit of mid range, that mid boost button's there.
It's almost like kicking in an overdrive pedal in front of the amp, that old trick, but with that switch.
Whilst the gain on the amp is full.
But all the clarity is still in the sound.
Still there.
Because the issue with adding more pedals is more noise and more kind of mush in the sound. But this amp's handling it with ease.
Really easy. What I like about this amp, and that's for comparatively low volume for where we are. It's kind of what you call bedroom level. Well, depending on how your parents are with bedroom level amplifiers. But if you just look at the treble, this is how the EQ responds. Some amps, it takes a lot of volume for the EQ to respond properly, and I really like that about this amp.
Yeah, whether you're gigging, you're going to get the full range of the controls and the same as if you're...
Or recording at home.
Absolutely. Yeah, you don't have to take your face off and you know, lose your house to your neighbours going mental to get the tone that you need.
No. And it's red.
Yes, and it's got fire in it.
Cool. Fireball 100.
Red. New for 2021 is the Invader 2 head, but this time with KT77 valves inside.
Okay, silver, and there's a black fascia on the panel.
Very cool. That goes great with this custom silver finish too.
Very cool.
Excellent stuff. So when I was looking for a clean sound for the funk track, I tried all the clean channels and didn't quite find the tone I was looking for.
Yeah.
Pat was sat at the desk engineer and going, what you need to do is put on a high gain amp and then roll the gain back and the volume back. Like, I wasn't particularly convinced until we tried it. And then this amp, Invader 2, channel 4, the highest gain of all the gains, with the gain stage at the right setting, it sounds phenomenal for this.
So there was some bite on it, and then you roll the volume control, use the volume control on the guitar as a gain control. Should we?
Yeah,
we'll demo it.
So we're going to start with the gain too high.
Here's like a classic rock.
So way too much. I'm going to bring the guitar's volume back a little.
Such
as funky clean, absolutely,
exactly.
Not of this earth. Amazing, so this amp is a great version of that sound. I was totally not expecting it, but channel 4, gain rolled back, funky as hell. Pat, what have you found?
I had a dig around with this and found a couple of sounds. One of them, I'm always interested in kind of old school. Let's play a dominant chord, gives you so much. But old school sounds, very much kind of back to rootsy, jazzy blues sounds. And surprise, surprise, it did it. Got a very, very tight delay on it. And I just went back to channel 1. All right, it's a clean sound.
Fingers.
Top end rolled off, fingers, so you're dumbing the sound down. Does it? Just does it.
It's not what you'd expect for an amp called an Invader.
No, it isn't. But if you want to jazz the blues, it's there. Man, he's there, he's in it.
Absolutely.
Cool.
Amazing.
Invader 2.
Does everything. So this is the Engl Artist Series in green Tolex finish. Again, another one from the Custom Shop.
Yeah.
Absolutely, it looks super cool in this finish.
It was
Very
my
classy.
favourite as well.
Of this amp?
Of the lot, yeah.
Yeah, sure. Why was that?
I just think the way it's voiced, it's kind of quite British sounding. But I'll tell you what it was. Straight away I could hear the wood of the guitar.
Right.
And I think certain amps are really good at amplifying pickups. And this just really, especially when you're using lower output pickups, really pulls out the tones in the wood.
Sure. Absolutely. So I'm going to start with the gain sound. What I noticed about it is, like you were saying, it's voiced differently. So what I hear from this gain sound is, instead of it being kind of present, cutting through and very bright and modern sounding, it's got more of a warmth and rich and raunch to the distortion. Okay. So again, it pulls your ears towards different styles of music. So if I play a rhythm part, you'll hear what I mean, maybe compared to the other amp. High gainy, but it's not like a metal gain. It's more of a
and there's lots of notes in those chords. You're playing ninth chords with the open strings ringing, a la Jeff Buckley. So if you're a songwriter, and you're writing with overdrive,
yes, absolutely.
Then
it doesn't take you to kind of that rock, modern metal kind of tone to it.
Everything's
more,
there.
It's more textural, isn't it?
Yeah.
As a distortion, absolutely. I'm going to apply the shape button to it, which adds a mid push to that sound. So that's the sound without. If I put that in, play the same thing. Slightly louder, slightly more present, a bit more warmth and mid in there, which is great again for leads. Again, it's a high gain tone, but I don't think metal when I play it.
Yeah.
So if I play, you're saying about the tone of the wood, you hear that when you play with pick and fingers. There's the pick sound. Those kind of finger tones come out in a different way. So again, because the voice of the gain stages and the gain channel on this amp, it leads me towards different genres again.
Greg Howe.
Yeah, fusiony type stuff.
Yeah,
to it.
cool.
Yeah.
So backing everything off to a more sort of reserved, clean sound. The twang's in there.
Yeah, that little bit of bite just gives it that country.
It's almost
nuance.
compressed, but it's not. There's no compressor on it.
Right.
So, but yeah, it feels really nice. Of course, you take that up. Almost Angus, isn't it, really?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, yeah, without.
Yeah.
Loads.
Expressive, isn't it?
Yeah, very. Loads.
Even sounds more compressed to my ears as well.
Very much so.
Brights pop up.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Very cool. So that's the artist edition in green Tolex. Powerball 2.
Yes.
This time in black.
Absolutely.
None more black.
Black's still cool, right?
Yeah, very cool.
Absolutely. Excellent. So, we noticed when we played this one, there's something about that gain on this amp, that tone, very familiar.
Yeah.
Lots of records.
Straight away was nostalgia. Yeah, I recognised it.
But I kind of recognise it as a classic sound as well as a modern tone that you hear in modern productions as well. It's like, this is an established sound that's been around a bit, which is great.
Yeah.
However, I love the way valve amps respond to when you play the volume control on the guitar, or certain valve amps at least. So I wanted to see if this one, what I did notice about this channel is it seemed to have the most gain out of all of them, even though there's 4 channels. I kind of found channel 3, which is we're on now, lead gain 3, had so much range in it. I'm on lead gain 3, more or less 2 o'clock on the gain, slight push of the treble, but everything else in the middle really. And if I have the tone, so I just bring out in the sound where the volume creeps in as you roll the volume up. You get this nice, I'm going to use pick and fingers, so tell me what you think. Yeah. Kind of tone-wise.
Very southern.
Yeah, absolutely.
Almost Beavis and Butthead-esque. Remember that intro music? Yeah, very cool.
Yeah, kind of Leonard Skinner kind of vibe
exactly,
to it as well. Yeah,
exactly.
But pick and fingers also adds to that. What I love is that kind of tone. The fingers and
it's cool with that vibrato.
Yeah, sometimes when you roll the volume off on a guitar and through an amp, you lose all that top end.
Yes, you do.
This, you get the tone, you still got a lovely bite with it, which is excellent. So, there's the kind of southern country rock thing. Now, if I crank the volume right up, give it all the output from the guitar.
Well, that works.
Totally.
Yeah.
So this time, I've gone for crunch gain 2.
Crunch gain 2.
But I'm not going to use it in the way that you necessarily think. You kind of think of your driven, crunchier, gritty blues rock tones. Here I've got the gain on 1.
Right.
I want to go for a nostalgia type vibe. Think kind of early 80s Aussie type stuff.
Yeah.
Atmospheric ambient guitar with a little bit of bite to it. Okay. So I've gone for bridge pickup, guitar volumes rolled up, but I've added in delay and chorus.
Some analogue effects in the effects loop on the amp.
Absolutely. So chorus and delay. Straight away you get kind of Def Leppard-esque kind of vibe happening. Right. But I'm not going to go there. So let's just see if we can get some ambient, atmospheric stuff. So here we go. Let's see how it responds just to fingers this time as well.
Cool.
Nice.
So that's more Randy than Zach.
Yeah, totally. Early vibes, but yeah. Roll the gain back, it just has enough bite and clarity and definition to sit really nice with those effects. Some amps get quite mushed up with effects, I find, and that note clarity and definition retained all the way through.
Yeah.
So
Cool.
takes effects very well, this head.
Yes. So I found the Sprightly Clean channel.
So crystal-like.
Yeah, crystal, exactly. Yeah, and it's very cool. I've got some compressor on that, again with an analog effects unit, and I left in your chorus and delay.
Okay, fair enough.
And kind of found that. But also what I wanted to do was switch channels to see what that sound was like with this super gain.
Right.
Right. So while I was doing that, I noticed this interesting effects switching. What you do is you've got a button here for channel up and down, so you go from top row to bottom row. And then you go either from channel 1 to 2, which is here or here. So you can kind of move around like that. But I ended up here and found...
Very cool.
I found about 1987.
Yeah, those single notes sound huge with that.
They do, yeah, especially with the chorus. And yeah, it just responded really well. Very different sound to this guitar, but obviously maple neck, and I had the coil tapping on the initial sound.
Took Mutt Lang and Def Leppard about 5 years to get that sound.
In fact, these guitars with this amp, that would probably do the whole of Hysteria.
Totally.
Yeah.
That clean with those effects and that driven sound.
Very cool.
Absolutely.
I found my way to Channel 4.
You will find a way to Channel 4.
Yeah.
Because it's got more of everything.
More of everything, yeah. So, as we demonstrated with this guitar earlier, it's DiMarzio pickups, it's a bolt-on neck, it's maple, so it's bright sounding as we heard with the clean tone.
Present,
Channel 4. That's what Channel 4 does.
Yeah. Crunch.
Monstrous. Absolutely monstrous. Do you hear that? Do you hear that noise gate kick in there?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. So, black snakeskin, Fireball 25.
What a monstrous little beast that is.
Absolute beast. So, the smallest of the lot, but definitely one of the biggest in terms of look and sound.
In fact, it's kind of funny that, you know, you might look at this and kind of think of it as an extra to the range, but this is one of the amps I was most excited about trying.
Yeah, me
because
too.
I know how those big albums are made.
Yes.
The amount of Guitar Mag interviews where I've read the guitar player say, actually, we got like a 25 and crank the hell out of it. Because, you know, how often can you drive a 120 watt amp like the Savage, you know, to its full? You don't get to hear that very often. But with something like this, 25 watts in a studio driven, you can get a beautiful overdrive sound from that.
Absolutely.
So lots of big albums, actually, some of the secrets to the sound is an amp like this, driven really high.
Cool. And it looks amazing too. Black snakeskin. What I wanted to experiment with was the lead sounds on this, really. And I'm using EMGs. I haven't played anything EMG-esque through any of these amps yet, but it's the warmth were getting from it was the mid-range. So now, that is an analog delay on a tight slapback echo. And it gives me everything and no interference, no tone change at all.
No, that's the thing.
That is the sound of the amp.
And those notes are really tight and clean and precise as well.
Absolutely.
You don't hear that amp struggling in any way whatsoever.
Yeah, so you could play country on this.
Absolutely. Play any kind of clean sound on it.
Any kind of clean
Dave
sound.
Gilmour could fill an arena with that.
Yeah, and this is EMGs too. So. Very cool.
Very nice.
Fireball 25.
Little amp, little speaker.
Big sound, big
Huge
heart.
sound. We want to thank you for taking out the time to check out Engl Presents 2021 and all the cool things they got in line for us this year.
Yeah, so if you're inspired by anything you see in this presentation, please head to the website
or go to your local Engl dealer and start placing your order.
Dream it up.